Hi, good morning. I'm Miss Hannah Claire Orozal, a student of Master in Business Education, and I will be discussing the topic Integrative Educational Model, All-Inclusive Education, Sped Education, and Sogie-Based Education. So now let's discuss the Integrative Educational Model. It is a model that uses research on brain's four major functions to support effective teaching of gifted learners. So it pertains to the cognitive, psychomotor, affective, and intuitive. So integrative education bases its practices on the characteristics of the human learner and on the interdependent nature of reality. It is also a key to teach students through all of the major functions in order for that student to reach their full potential. The IEM or the Integrative Educational Model has 7 components. First is the responsive learning environment. Second is the complex and challenging cognitive ability. Third is empowering language and behavior. Fourth is choice and perceived control. Fifth is relaxation and tension reduction. Six is movement and physical encoding. And seven is the intuition and integration. Now let's discuss the responsive learning environment. So this component requires educators and parents to develop new supportive attitude towards learning. They said that the roots of this organizational plan are buried deeply in the works of Plato, Socrates, Froebel, Pestalozzi, Dewey, Montessori, Piaget, and other innovative educators, and strives for a unique learning experiences for each individual. So, if we will describe the setup of a responsive learning environment, they describe it much like a laboratory or workshop, and the curriculum is very flexible. Okay. Now let's discuss the complex challenging cognitive ability. They said that this component was given the most attention by the educators because it deals with the development of complex and challenging cognitive activities. So in here, the setup will be the students are allowed to devise and test their own ideas to discover their own learning processes. It includes giving them interesting and integrative, challenging tasks that through that task they are able to develop learning. Now let's proceed with empowering language and behavior. It is giving a student undivided attention and indicating that you are listening when the student is sharing a concern or achievement is an example of empowering behavior. In here, uh, when the students talk or when the students share some ideas, the teacher should show the students that they are listening and considering their ideas. And according to Sparling, this verbal, non-verbal, and overt physical responses results in competence, support, closeness, and appreciation and helpful feedback. Because when the students feel uh, that they are appreciated or they are recognized by the teacher, it gives them confidence and helps them to do more or to study more. Now, let's discuss the choice and perceive control. So, it allows students to choose for themselves through class activities and assessment. It also allows the students to feel that they are in control in the classroom through decision making and involving them in the rule making process. So, whenever we involve them in decision making or we let them decide for themselves, and we involve them in the rulemaking process, we are building up their responsibility. That it will be harder for them to break the rules that they themselves impose. Next, we have the relaxation and tension reduction. So if the integration of mind and body is to succeed, relaxation techniques must be learned to allow the body to cooperate with mind's energy. So for an example, if the students feel pressured answering the exam, they're more likely to fail the exam than to pass the exam. Or if we are so stressed about our work, then more likely we do less than finish our work. So basically, if we need relaxation time as a worker, our student who keeps on studying and studying and studying and studying also needs relaxation time so that their body can keep up on their mind's energy. Next, we have the movement and physical encoding. So it uses the physical body in the motion to enact processes to be learned. And they said that physical movement is important in learning because if we are to better educate the students, then we must acknowledge the importance of movement. We cannot confine them on their seat for 8 hours a day so that they can learn better. No, they need to go and explore, and we need to give them time to move around. Lastly, we have the intuition and integration. Students needs to able to intermingle subject areas to create thorough hypotheses. So, but according to context.org, the intuitive function has been least recognized by the educator since intuition is changing. So basically, they focuses on the other six than this component. Next, let's proceed on our next topic, which is all-inclusive education. So, inclusive education is about looking at the ways our schools, classroom programs, and lessons are designed so that all children can participate and learn. So, inclusive education is the most effective way to give all children a fair chance to go to school, learn, and develop the skills they need to know. Inclusion is also finding out the different ways of teaching so that the classroom or the children can actively participate, or so that we can involve all childrens. It can be finding ways to develop friendships, relationships, mutual respects between the students and to teachers, between the teachers to students, and between students to students. And I have here some benefits of inclusive education. First is all children are able to be part of the community and develop their sense of belonging and become better prepared for life in the community as children and adults. Next is it provides better opportunities for learning. They said that children with varying abilities are often better motivated when they learn in classes surrounded by other children. It also provides children with opportunities to develop friendship with one another. Friendships provide role models and opportunities for growth. Now let's proceed with the beliefs and principles from the best practices for inclusion, New Brunswick Department of Education, 1994. These are the beliefs and principles of inclusive education. So they believe that all children can learn, all children can attend age-appropriate regular classroom in their local schools. All children can receive appropriate educational programs. All children can receive a curriculum relevant to their needs. All children can participate in co-curricular and extracurricular activities. And all children can benefit from cooperation, collaboration among home, among school, and among community. Now, let's discuss the special education. So, special education provides students with identified disabilities, specialized instruction designed to meet their unique learning needs, giving them the opportunity to develop to their full potential. So, special education may be the best described as purposeful intervention designed to overcome or eliminate the obstacles that keep the children with disabilities from learning. Now, let's proceed with the inclusive education on special education. So, the primary objective of inclusive education is to educate disabled students in a regular classroom and still meet their individual needs. Inclusive education also allows the students with special needs to receive free and appropriate education alongside with non-disabled students in a regular classroom. Now let's discuss the special education in the Philippines. The Sped in the Philippines started in 1908, where the School for the Deaf in Harrison, Pasay City was established and marked the official government recognition of the obligations towards the education of the handicapped children. Also, the special education was formally started in the country by establishing the Insular School for the Deaf and Blind in Manila. The Philippine Association for Deaf was founded, and the government established the Welfareville Children's Village, a school for people with mental retardation in Mandaluyong. Last, let's discuss the Sogie-Based education. In all honesty, I couldn't find that much information regarding this topic, but I will share to you uh, what I have searched on. So the education system is central to the issue both as an environment featuring endemic bullying and abuse and bias, but also an opportunity for innovation and alliance building related to sexual orientation and gender identity or expression or SOGI. In Silliman University, we have noticed that those members of LGBT community get discriminated or bullied. So, Strands Together, a project at Silliman University in Dumaguete, southern of our country, sought comprehensive responses through empathy and mutual respect. This is for the welfare of those uh, members of the LGBT community. The sensitization training session emphasizes using art as a medium for advocacy and to raise awareness about on-campus violence and bullying with the objective of promoting safe and inclusive schools for all learners, including the LGBT students. According to them, visual art is a good vehicle for visibility to fight the violence and bullying and the discrimination among other students.